So easily entertained.
I'm so happy that you're finally up and around and feeling better, Klook. For a while there, all of us were afraid you'd never wake up.
I'm so sorry. I messed up the team's plans for defeating Nene.
You're kidding, right?
Huh?
We weren't strong enough to begin with. If not for you, we wouldn't even be here talking about it.
We'd be prisoners or worse. Instead, we're all on our way to wherever it is we're going again.
We're going to a place where we can find another copy of the Book of the Beginning.
And of course, it has to be a copy that contains the extra 7 pages.
We'll never find a copy like that. Another wild goose chase.
Stop being negative, will ya?
I think we're almost there. Here is the Republic of Metea. It's a famous center of books and knowledge.
I never even knew a place like this existed.
I can tell you all about it.
How do you know? You never know anything.
Well, Mr. Pointyhead, I know about this. The whole city is like a giant library. They have books and papers from all over the world covering every little thing you can imagine.
Most people here earn their living by buying and selling books or cataloging information.
Scholars flock to this city and spend hours debating each other.
Although it's not the original, there's a copy of the Book of the Beginning that's close to the original, and it's kept here in the National Library. It should suit our purposes.
Go ahead, library's giving me a headache.
Trust me, the syntax of the text is completely maladjusted.
Aww, this is almost worse than being stuck back at school.
It's so quiet in here, it'd be a great place to grab some sleep.
So, how about we check out some wedding books?
I'm not interested.
This is the place. This way. Here we go. This is the Book of the Beginning. You remember what the original looked like back at Jabral Castle, right? The fact is, there have been many different versions published over the years. For our particular needs, I chose a version closest to the original.
If you're gonna explain something, can you please use small words?
And short sentences, too. Remember, Zola, we're not as sharp as we appear.
There are also those who are hearing this for the first time, so I'll explain from the beginning. It's got a lot of information in it, but the bottom line is, it's a book that lays out the way this world works, and in the process describes a lot of legends from the distant past.
Does it have a lot of magic spells in it?
You'd better use smaller words.
Its most famous stories are about the beginning of the world around us.
Here, Zola, let me read them something. This is a story that takes place right after the world was created. What is known is that the earth and the sea were the first things created. Next came the simple life forms. They grew more and more complicated until finally human beings appeared. Life swept through the planet. It filled the seas from the bottom of the ocean to the edge of the shore. It spread like fire across all the continents, filling them with creatures high and low. The earth shone bright, and daylight never faded. Time passed. Then one day, the humans decided they had grown tired of eternal daylight. They said, "We can't sleep in a world as dazzling as this. Can something be done to balance out the light?" The answer was yes. And so darkness was created. Shadows appeared, and people were glad, not knowing that darkness had been created in their hearts, as well as in the world around them.
Oh yeah, that's not new information. Even I've heard that story before.
Not so fast. The story isn't finished yet.
You mean it keeps going? How much more is there?
Quite a bit, actually. What you just heard is only an introduction to the material. There are many fables and local legends in this section. But the most important information is coming up. Here it is. The war between light and darkness.
I remember this. You talked before about how a war broke out between the two great powers in the world. It was the forces of light against the forces of darkness. Just when the forces of darkness were about to win the struggle, the 7 warriors of light appeared and battled their way to victory.
Those soldiers of light. I've concluded they must have been shadow wielders.
Why in the world would you think that?
The descriptions of what they accomplished in battle were so amazing, they had to be more than just normal human beings. Their powers resembled the same ones we have today.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
So even if shadow wielders have been around since the earliest days of our history, how on earth did you come to the conclusion that all of us are descendants of those warriors of light?
That's a very good question. As most of you know, Jiro and I have been on our quest for quite a while now. We looked everywhere for ancient ruins that might be linked to the 7 warriors of light.
Everywhere?
Like back home?
Yes, there in the caverns. That's why we were in your village. The legends say each warrior has his own set of ruins. The one we found gave us exactly what we were looking for. In the cavern there was a secret room, and inside it, ancient paintings of your Shadow Shoe. It's undeniable proof. You and all the people at this table are descendants of the 7 soldiers of light.
Wait just a minute.
Shouldn't we be out looking for the 7th descendant?
We don't even know if a 7th descendant exists, and besides that, we haven't found any more ruins with clues. That last warrior could show up anywhere and we wouldn't know. We have no idea what he or she even looks like.
A 7th warrior.
Now you understand why we are the ones who must take a stand in the fight against Nene. The warriors have come back to save the world.
Our remaining forces have succeeded in crossing the borders of our allied states, Mitia and Gore. These soldiers report that the Imperial Guard Division, led by Conrad, is bringing up the rear of the retreat. They are fighting bravely and have rescued many soldiers, but the truth is they are outnumbered.
Don't give up, men! We're almost to the border! Keep moving!
Where's he now, Minister?
That is unknown, sire. We cannot afford to wait, Your Majesty. We must prepare now. We must prevent any further invasion by Nene. We should call up the reserves and deploy them.
What is that?
What is that up there?
Operational efficiency 57%. Energy charge 83%.
Fire control system clear. Releasing safety valve. Target is locked. Objective, Jabral Castle.
Final report. All systems maximum power.
Ready to go, Commander.
And fire!
Everything from this point on is just speculation on our part. For any real answers, we would need to see the missing pages from the original book.
The extra 7 that were stolen.
Yes, the extra 7 pages that were added only to the back of the original book. I suspect their contents might help us maximize our shadow power. But I have no proof of that because what's written there has long been a mystery.
Who was responsible for keeping those pages hidden? Huh?
Around 700 years ago, the King of Jabral went out of his way to issue a specific law to that effect.
Manu?
The law stated, from that point on, any future viewings of the Book of the Beginning would be strictly prohibited, except to those people given permission by the king himself. In addition, the contents of the extra 7 were completely sealed, no matter who wanted to examine them.
What made the king do such a thing?
I think he was afraid. The King of Jabral at that time was an intelligent, gifted scholar. He was well-informed and promoted research in all areas, including studying the extra 7, but something happened. His research team must have made a discovery.
And you think the truth threatened the king?
It might have been something that would have upset the social order and caused an uproar. So, he probably created the law to make sure that whatever it was would be sealed away forever.
I guess it had to have been a pretty important secret if he was that worried.
What do you think is in the missing pages?
I don't know. Maybe it was stuff they forgot to put in.